Welcome back to the space between the picket lines. I'm your hostess, Rebecca David, and this week's discussion revolves around tips and tricks for reaching across the party lines. It is important to have these skills in your tool belt because simply being entrenched in one's own echo chamber serves zero productive purpose to the overall mission of saving lives and changing hearts. With that said, let's dive right in. So, real talk, starting a productive discussion with someone whose beliefs do not match yours can be very difficult. This is exacerbated times 1,000 when it comes to virtually any question in the pro-life world. It can make getting to a middle ground feel absolutely impossible, or close to it at the very least. Now that said, today I will teach you how to work around that, specifically in the context of helping pro-choice and or what I like to call fence post folks to understand the sanctity of life in the womb. I will arm you with 5 essential and quite literally life-saving hacks to be the best pro-life apologetics individual that you can be, or in short term, a pro-life apologist. So, hack number 1. Always bring the discussion back to one central question. Is the child in the womb a living human being? Now, if the answer is yes, which we have proven on my channel that it is, then nothing else matters at all. Nothing else, or at least nothing else matters as much, I should say. Nothing else matters as much because a living human being has inalienable rights which were imbued in every single one of us by Christ, and therefore cannot be revoked, renounced, or removed by any human being or law on this planet. Now this hack is critical because most individuals who are selectively pro-life will say something along the lines of, I'm against abortion except in the cases of fill in the blank. Now there is nothing wrong with both emphasizing the horror of some pregnancy scenarios such as rape and incest, while simultaneously standing for the preborn child's right to not face execution. Children in the womb do not magically become non-human simply because horrific circumstances surround their conception. And beyond that, I would recommend for this hack that you point out that the only person who actually truly benefits in both the short and the long term from a female getting an abortion in those circumstances is the perpetrator of the crime. I can personally think of nothing more anti-woman than that. Then we get to hack number 2. Remember that the first person to get mad or start name-calling loses the argument, regardless of how right or wrong they may be. A point B on this one is that the person who turns a civil conversation of differently minded principles into an argument looks like the less intelligent person every time. For proof of this, think back on every viral argument video that you have ever seen. When one person is speaking calmly and civilly and making logical points, and the other person is screaming obscenities at the top of their lungs and just casting insult after insult of various kinds, we would all say that the calm and collected individual in that conversation is the victor, irregardless of whoever is actually speaking truth in the moment. Next up, hack 3. As Ben Shapiro famously put it, facts do not care about your feelings. Now, I will add the amendum that when you speak the truth, speak it in love. It is vital that when you're speaking to those who believe that you are trying to strip their rights to their body, that you help them to understand what is actually going on. And the best way to do that is to speak truthfully, but speak it in love. If you speak the truth calmly and in love, you give yourself a far better fighting chance to be heard. One way that I once heard this put, and it stuck with me ever since because it's incredibly true. The person you are having that conversation or that argument with will not care what you have to say, no matter how correct you are, until they know that you see them as a person and you care about them as an individual. Next up, we get to hack 4. Know the facts before you launch the conversation. I cannot stress this one enough. Most pro-choice people will argue off the basis that either the child is not human or that there is some larger issue which cancels out the importance of their humanity. If you can prove those beliefs wrong, you will gain the upper hand. Now, it's not going to be easy to do necessarily, no matter if you're speaking. Even whenever you're speaking the most truth you can be, it's still a very touchy-feely subject. So, be ready for that. But just remember that knowledge is power. It's an old saying because it's a true saying. Finally, hack 5. The single most poisonous thing is to be surrounded by one's own echo chamber. Be brave enough to stand proudly for what you believe, even when you feel as though you stand alone. The thing that frustrates me and infuriates me more than anything else when it comes to this topic is when I see pro-life people who are not speaking up around pro-choice people. That is the definition of being spineless, and that spinelessness has directly influenced the murder of over 60 million children. Allow me to speak one-to-one with you right now, whoever you are. I know that you have bravery within, and I know that you have untapped reserves and untapped potential to help in this fight. I know that you can help me to save these children's lives, along with so many others already in the fight. All you have to do is be willing to stand in this space between the picket lines with me. It is one of the simplest decisions that you could ever make. Which side of history do you wish to be on? So, now you have 5 strong tools in your tool belt to help you to start standing for life, or maybe to keep standing for it just a little bit more efficiently. Remember, most pro-choice people simply do not grasp the gravity of what abortion actually does. Remind them that it is not a you versus them issue. It is an all of us versus the crisis issue. Help them to understand that. And if you're a pro-choice person and you're watching this video, first, I highly encourage that you go back and watch the other videos in this series. They are tailored to help you. And they are tailored not just to help you, but I should say they are tailored to be a space between the picket lines. I want us to find common ground. Second, if you're pro-choice, you're loved by me and my fellow pro-life folks, and you are welcome here. And please ask me any questions that you might have. That's what the comment section's for. You'll also see a display somewhere on how to find me on the various social media platforms. So please reach out to me, ask me whatever you want. And now, changing gears, it is time for this week's book recommendation. It is called Persuasively Pro-Life: How to Talk About Our Culture's Toughest Issue. Now, the name of the book is sort of self-explanatory. It was written by Trent Horn, and you can find it most easily on Amazon and the Live Action website, and a place called Catholic Answers Shop and Goodreads. Now, this is my favorite part of the video every week, because this is where I can send out an open call to those who might be facing a crisis pregnancy. Reach out to me and I can help you. It doesn't matter where you are, I can get you to the resources that you need. Additionally, if you know someone who is in that situation, please share this video with them or send them to my channel in general or send them to my social media so that I can get connected to them and help them out. And finally, if you are ready to step into the fight, just let me know. I've got plenty of spaces which I can direct you to so that you can get started on this incredible journey. Now, as for next week, we will look at why being a pro-life generation matters. Until then, be blessed and remember that the creator of the universe calls you his cherished child. And I encourage you to live like that is true, because it is. Have a fantastic week, and let's continue to be pioneers in the space between the picket lines together. God bless. Thanks for watching.